Hi folks, this is Jack Spirko with another Survival Podcast YouTube video. We're here today with phase 3 of the long-term storage bucket project, and you might be looking at this giant pile right here and wondering, has Jack flipped his lid? You can't throw frozen corn into a bucket and leave it there for 10 years, right? Vacuum seal it or whatever ain't gonna help. It's frozen corn, it needs to be frozen. Well, what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna talk about how we take a pile that looks just like this and we turn it into this. We do that with dehydration, and I did all of this dehydration yesterday with my new Excalibur dehydrator. All I did was take the exact items you're looking at here, this is an exact match, put them in the dehydrator. This is what I ended up with. I'm going to go through, talk about the volume differences, talk about the nutritional profile, and then I'm going to tell you when we add them to the last stuff that we put in the bucket, where it puts us at in our project from a nutritional standpoint. What you need to know is I'm only halfway done with my dehydration. All of this stuff is going into the dehydrator next. I didn't dehydrate it yet because I wanted you to be able to see the difference between the two. As far how to dehydrate frozen vegetables, there's not a lot to it. You spread them out on a single layer, you put them in a dehydrator, and you dehydrate them. All the preparatory work that you need done has been done. I also want to point out right now, you could do this with fresh vegetables, you could do the blanching and preparatory work yourself. I want you to check out Dehydrate to Store his YouTube channel for all the information on how to dehydrate. I'll probably do some videos on specifics of dehydration in the future, but she has all the information you really need, so why be redundant and do it over? I want to talk about how these things fit into our storage project. So let's start out with the first item, frozen corn. First, right now you should be seeing a picture on your screen that is all of this food with a couple other items I decided not to put in this phase as it looked before it was dehydrated, all stacked together. You can see the 5-gallon bucket with it. That food would never fit in one 5-gallon bucket. It might not fit in two, and we're going to turn it into something that's a component. So let's start going through the items. First of all, we have corn. This is our bag of frozen corn. After we dehydrate it, this is what it turns into. It weighs a fraction of the original, and it's reduced in size by, I would say, about a third. So we have, what is this package? It's 32 ounces or 2 pounds of corn. So we're going to actually dehydrate this one and include it, and we will have 4 pounds of dehydrated corn. What does that cost us? What does it give us? And again, you can do this less expensively with fresh vegetables from the farmer's market, from produce from your own backyard, or getting them on sale. I just went out and bought the items yesterday so I could get this project done for you. And I went to Tom Thumb, which is rather expensive as grocery stores go. So these prices are a little bit inflated. We'll still see how affordable this really is. 4 pounds of frozen corn cost me $5. That gives us 2,200 calories. 462 grams of carbohydrates, 66 grams of protein, and 22 grams of fat. So corn is one of the staples of consumption, mainly because it actually does have protein, fat, and carbohydrates. It's not a great source of fat and protein, but at least there's some there. So again, this is what actually goes in the bucket, and this right here is what we started out with. We'll move those out of the way so we can keep things going as we go. Also, these are in Ziploc bags for now. They will be vacuum packed with O2 absorbers when all of the dehydration is done. And hopefully in the next phase, I'll be showing you some of the stuff vacuum packed as well that's been going in there. Moving on, we took a bag of green beans that looks like this, and we turned it into a little bitty bag that looks like that. Check that out. The size reduction. It's hard to even get your head around how small that really is in comparison. But these were the same thing. Beans dehydrate to a really small level. So put those aside. Let's talk about their nutritional profile. On the green beans, we also have 4 pounds, $5, 2 for $5. That's what they were selling all this stuff for. That's why I went with 2 bags just to make it round numbers. 660 calories, 110 grams of carb, 22 grams of protein. So there's a little bit of protein there, 0 fat. So we haven't helped our fat profile at all there. Remember, we're fat deficient in this project at this point. That will change as we kind of conclude things and wrap things up toward the end and bring an adjunctive product with it, okay? So let's be patient on that. Next up, green peas. I love dehydrated green peas for cooking soups with. This is just absolutely one of my favorite things. I think they come out better than using fresh frozen peas. That bag is actually right there. There's a comparison for you. That's what we've turned that into. So this will double in size and still be less than this when it finally goes in the bucket. It's also a heck of a lot more lightweight if we ever have to pick up and move. So what do our green peas, what do we get out of them? 1,400 calories, 240 grams of carbohydrate, 100 grams of protein. So peas are a reasonable source of protein. Again, though, 0 fat. Again, it's 4 pounds before we dehydrate, which is 2 packages of 2 pounds each. Now, let's move on to potatoes. Right now, before I go forward, I know you might be thinking, well, what does dehydrated food look like when you rehydrate it? Again, check out Dehydrate to Store's channel. I'll put a link in the notes to this video. But I wanted to show you real quick. So right now on your screen, what you should be seeing are shredded potatoes. And 1 cup holds a dehydrated shredded potato. The other cup that you're looking at, the only thing that was done with those exact same potatoes is they were soaked in water for about 20 minutes. And you can see we can drain that water off and throw them in a frying pan and saute them up as hash browns. You'll never know the difference. So that's what we get out of this. Again, I like doing the frozen foods because all the preparatory work's been done. You're better off with fresh, but if you just need to get some food stored, I wanted to show you an easy way to do that. So what we have, I'm going to combine them because it's the exact same nutritional profile, is we have, this is a bag of cubed potatoes and a bag of shredded hash browns. You can see that they're quite bulky. This is the shredded potatoes, what they turn into. This is the diced potatoes and what they turn into. So we have 2 bags of each of the potatoes. That brings potatoes in. They play so nicely with so many other foods. They're a good staple food, a reasonable nutritional profile. And again, this is what we end up with 2 bags. These will double in size because I'll be dehydrating these next. Again, I just wanted you to see them and see the size difference in size comparison. So with that, what do we have out of the potatoes? Each double bag set has the same nutritional profile, the diced and the shredded. Each gives us about 3.75 pounds of potatoes because they're 30 ounces per package. They were $6.57 per 2. Okay, so it's $6.57 in total cost. 1,400 calories each, so a total of 2,800 calories in potatoes. 320 carbs, so a total in all of the shredded and the diced of 640 carbs. Actually have some protein in potatoes, 20 per unit, 40 per type, and a total of 80 grams of protein that we are contributing with our potatoes. The last one is carrots, and I really want you to kind of grasp the reduction in the size with carrots. Carrots are not very calorically dense at all, but these were 3 bags, and they're 2 pound or 1 pound, 1.5 pound bags. So 3 1.5 pound bags for $5 is what I paid for these. Again, probably paying more than I had to, but I wanted to get this video done for you guys. So that is a total of 4.5 pounds of carrots. So I have 2 more of these to dehydrate. We start out with this. We end up with this. Let me roll this up to really drive home what happens when you dehydrate. Okay? You got a look at that? All right, so we'll triple this in size. It won't even equal 1 bag. We'll have the carrots. Again, not very calorically dense, but carrots are a good flavoring agent to cook with other foods, and I find that kids like to eat carrots if you cook them right. And as crazy as it sounds, these little tiny wadded up balls of carrot, when you rehydrate and cook them, you'll never know the difference. Okay, so the carrots give us 840 calories with 3 bags of these. That gives us 168 carbohydrates, no protein, no fat. So what did all of this cost us? So we're pretty much gonna double what's right here in size and space. So we're gonna have no trouble getting this and still making this fit in our first bucket with the items we've already gone through. We ended up spending $33.14 on a pile of food, double the size of this, which will turn into a pile of food double the size of this. Again, I'm going to put up a picture right now. That's the entire portfolio of food laid out. Ignore the oatmeal and 1 package of pasta. Those will be coming along later.